Hi guys, today we're going to show you how we use an Arduino to control home appliances inside our house and turn them on and off.
And today we'll be demonstrating with Christmas lights.
So now we're going to show you some of the materials you'll need to complete this project. The first thing that you'll need is an Arduino Uno board. This acts as the brain and controls everything.
Next, you want a relay. The relay acts as a bridge between the home appliance you're trying to power and the Arduino. This also opens and closes the power source for the home appliance you're powering on and off.
Next, you want an extension cord. This is so you can avoid directly cutting the wire of the home appliance that you want to control.
Next is a wire stripper and cutter.
Then, optionally but preferably, you'll want some copper wire.
Next, you want 3 colored wires. Black for ground, red for live, and blue for signal.
You'll also want a screwdriver.
Then you'll want a USB printer cord to power your Arduino Uno.
You have to make sure that that cord plugs in directly to the Arduino into this metal cord. Finally, you'll want the home appliance that you're trying to control. In this video, we're going to be demonstrating with Christmas lights, but you can really use anything you want. The only thing is that you have to watch out and make sure that you do not break your relay. So you have to read the information and see how much voltage your relay can supply.
Now we're going to start hardware setup. You can take your Arduino power supply and set it aside later for software setup, and take your home application, in this case our Christmas lights, and put it aside as we are going to use it in final assembly only. First, you want to take your wire. Your wire should look like this. You want to take your wire strippers and cutters, strip about 1 inch of insulation off, and remove the insulation. The final product should look like this. You should see 3 wires, a green wire, a white wire, and a black wire. You should cut the black wire only and take the copper wire that we had earlier, snip a bit off, and attach it to the other copper fibers inside your wire, and electrical tape it for a secure connection. Next, you want to take this wire and attach it to your relay. Your relay on one side should have a normally open, a common, and a normally closed terminal. You should take one end of your black wire and screw it into the normally opened. As you can see, it's securely screwed into the normally open, so when I pull it, it won't come out. Next, if you take your other end of the bronze wire, you should be able to put it into the common terminal and screw it shut too. This should have a secure and tight connection, so when pulled, will not come out. Then you want to flip your relay and take your 3 wires. Your black wire for ground, red wire for power, and your blue wire for signal. As you can see, there should be 3 terminal blocks. One is your positive charge, the next is your negative charge, and then the last one is your signal wire. First, you want to take your positive charge and attach it to the positive terminal. Make sure you ensure a secure connection like you did with your copper wires. Then you take your ground wire or your negative charge and also make sure you have a secure connection with the terminal. Then you take your signal wire and attach it to your signal terminal. Make sure the connection and all of these are secure, so when introduced to stress or pulled, does not come out easily. Then you take your Arduino. You should find the pins near the black power source and look for your 5-volt power supply. You take your positive wire and plug it into that 5-volt power supply. Then you take your black wire and attach it to one of the ground. Next, you attach your signal wire to pin 13. You don't have to attach it to pin 13. You can choose any other pin. We chose pin 13 because that's what's in our code.
Next, we're going to show you how to set up the software for this Arduino project. Before you start the software setup section, you have to make sure that you use the cable that we mentioned in materials and plug in your Arduino to your computer. After you do that, you're going to go ahead and open a browser of your choice. You're going to type up Arduino and open the Arduino website. You're going to go to software and go to downloads. We're not going to be using the Arduino web editor for this case. Instead, we're going to download the Arduino IDE. So the computer that I'm showing you guys this on is a Windows computer. So I will be clicking Windows app, but if you have a MacBook, you can use Mac OS, and if in Linux, you can use the Linux links. So I'm going to click Windows app. And for the Arduino software, we're not going to contribute and download. For this case, we're going to click just download. So that will open this website up, and then you can click install/open. Because I already own this app, it shows up that this product is already installed and I can just launch it. But if you didn't have it, there would be a download button where you could click and start the download process. So I'm going to launch this app. And it's going to pull up this code. So this is the code that we're going to be using to control our home appliance and turn it on and off. This code will be available in the description box if you guys want to use this code. So I'm going to briefly go over this code so you guys know how to customize it and change it to suit your needs. So Arduino uses a C++ blend style coding, and some of the most important variables in this code is time on and time off. So in the case of the Christmas lights that we are going to be using to demonstrate this code, you have time on. So time on is the amount of seconds or the duration of time that you want your Christmas lights to be on. So if I want it to be on for a second and then off for a second, then I would take this number, in this case it's 300, but this is really the number of seconds that you want your appliance to be on, and you would multiply it by 1000 because Arduino measures time in milliseconds, not seconds. So for time on, it's the number of seconds you want it to be on times 1000. So how long you want your home appliance to stay on. Then for time off, that's the time that you want your appliance to be off. So if you want your thing to flash, then you might have a 5-second rest in between or a 1-second rest, totally up to you. So again, you would take the number of seconds times 1000. In this case, we wanted our time off to be double what we had our time on, so we just took the variable time on and multiplied it by 2. But in reality, you can just do this thing again and say the amount of seconds you want it to be off times 1000. So how long you want your home appliance to stay off. So this next section initializes everything. You don't have to worry about that. But next, we have this loop. So this void loop technically runs forever, but you might not want in our case, the Christmas lights to be turning on and off for forever, because that would take a lot of power. You might only want it to turn on and off at night, because that is when you can see the Christmas lights the most. That's why we have period. So this is how long you want your code to run. So if you want your code to be turning your home appliance on and off for 12 hours, then you would make this 12 hours. Remember, for this number, it is the amount of seconds times 1000. Amount of seconds times 1000. So the duration of time that you want your code to run and keep on turning the home appliance on and off, this is the number that you would have. And then here, this is just turning the appliance on and then turning it off. In order to upload your code, you have to make sure, again, that your Arduino is plugged in via the cable that we mentioned in materials. But what you're going to do first is you're going to click verify, and there'll be a little thing down here, and it'll be compiling. After this is done loading, you're going to click upload. This will upload your code onto the Arduino, and after it's done, that's good. The final step in the Arduino project process is the final setup. So what you want to do is take the cord that you used to load the code into the Arduino initially and plug it into the Arduino. Then you want to take the other end and plug it in to the power source. Please keep in mind that the second that you plug it in, the Arduino code will start to run. the Arduino code will start automatically after you plug it in. Then you want to take that one end of the extension cord and plug it into the power source too. You take the other end and attach your home appliance. Now then you turn the power on, and then you can see that the home appliance will start to turn on and off as per directed by your code.